Explore yourself, develop spiritually, and create a spirit-centered life. Listen in as I bring forth metaphysical, spiritual, magical, and mystical information from my 60 years of intuitive living and 30 plus years of professional service. Welcome to your mystical direction. This is Lisa Bousson. Hi guys. Hello. Today as we talk about apports, and I will be doing mini readings toward the end of the little mini session I got here. Mediumship readings. I got quite a few people in spirit here that are jibber jabbering at me. So what is an apport? I bring this up because this happened to me recently, and then also it happened a long time ago. It doesn't happen very often. An apport is something, living, animate, inanimate object that is being transported from the world of spirit to the world of the living, and can, as a matter of fact, even be transported from like one place to a place. So you might think it's telekinesis or teleportation or something like that. And while, what you may see, everybody says it's a bunch of hooey, and I get it, because you know me, I'm an open-minded skeptic, and I need to have everything proven to me before I can tout it as a fact. And that's why I'm giving it to you today. So many years ago, before I really was into this professionally, and into spiritualism or spiritism or whatever, my kids were young and they were outside playing around or whatever, and I was vacuuming in the living room, and I got done, put the vacuum away, I turned around, and there was a dime on the floor right in the middle of the room, which, like, there's no way in God's green earth I would have ever missed a dime in the middle of the floor. I didn't know what the heck it was. Well, since then I realized that very often dimes are grandpas coming to call. But it's not necessarily just that. An apport can be anything. Now, a lot of times a medium will, if they're a physical medium, and I'll get to that in a minute, if they're a physical medium, can create apports at will, but may not have the ability to know exactly what's coming through. It's just the strength of the medium's vibe, so to speak. So there's a difference between a mental medium and a physical medium. A mental medium is someone who is all in the head. For instance, like they're clairvoyant and clairgustient, clairalient, claircognizant. All right, so all the information comes through that way. Now, a physical medium, however, works physically. They could do billets. In other words, pick up the vibes from like a piece of paper and know the answers to the questions, and move things, and teleport things, and use that kind of energy. And I don't know if you guys know who James Van Praagh is, very world famous medium. He told me, and I was kind of surprised, that I was a physical medium, but I work as a mental medium. So the work I do for you guys is mostly mental. Now, granted, when I was doing seances often, I would use the physical mediumship, where things would move in the room and people could see it. So it wasn't just me, like, a bunch of hooey stuff, but people could see it. And pretty stinking cool, let me tell you, because I had, during the seance, a lot of times I had no idea what's actually happening, because I'm channeling the world of spirit. So I might get images in my mind or see certain things, but I won't know what's being said or talked about. And then when I come out of the trance, the people who are in attendance will say, well, that moved and this happened and I smelled this and all that kind of stuff. Those are apports. Those are apports. Oh, I have had instances of apports in the past, other than the dime. I've had things like appear to me like feathers or notes or things like that that just kind of like, okay, these were not here 5 seconds ago, right? And that's the thing. You've got to be able to say with a reasonable doubt that these items, these articles, were not present prior to that date when you realized it happened. But it's really hard to, I guess, differentiate that between synchronicity, where things just happen, but a synchronistic event is where things like come in pairs or triples or quadruples or whatever, where like I might be thinking of my sister and all of a sudden she calls me or something like that, right? So there's a synchronistic event. Well, that could also be a transference or like a telekinesis, or even trance channeling a little bit, right? So we never really know how it's going to happen or what's going to happen, but being a physical medium versus a mental medium, that the chances are a little bit better. So if you ever wind up with something that you can't explain, don't explain it away unless you can, right? Unless you can find a physical reason for what you're experiencing. And like I said, I'm an open-minded skeptic. I want you to look at all the logical, the possible answers, and don't automatically say, oh, that's got to be spirit. Woo! No, that's not who I am. I look at the logical first, and if I can't find it, then I entertain the idea of it being spirit. That's what an apport is, something that just appears. Something that just appears. You know, it can be a rock, it can be a flower, it can be anything. Anything. So a physical medium can also move things. And I've taken classes where, surprised the hell out of me, let me tell you, where I've bent spoons spoons are okay, that's no big deal. Forks, however, with the tongues going like this, and shocks the hell out of you. It's like, oh my goodness, because you don't expect it to happen. It's such a cool thing. And then also where we have moved pencils across a desk, surprisingly enough. I never really was great at that. I could get it to move like 3 inches, and then it's like, and then I would kind of like surprise myself and go, oh my gosh, ah! And then I would lose it. So just because it's so freaking funny. So that's a little bit of mental mediumship about apports, and ta-da. So I've been taking notes prior to opening up the live today, and I've been talking to a few loved ones here. So if you can take what I'm giving you, please let me know. You have to type fast because the scroll, all the comments scrolls by really quick. All right. And so I do have 3 separate people. What the heck? My computer's, the screen's going la 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 la. I love when spirit messes around with the energy in my room. I just love it. So anyways, what's funny is because the first person that came through was a man, and I wasn't sure because it sounds very much like my brother-in-law who's deceased, where spirit came to me and told me to be authentic. When have you guys known me to not be authentic, right? I'm just a real old lady. I'm an old broad that does weird shit, that's my saying. I'm just the average old lady. I just do weird stuff. So, yes. All right. So the first man that is coming through is an older man, 70-ish, 70, 75, I'm going to say at the most. I did get the name Richard or Dick or Rick or something like that, right? So keep in mind this could be a linking name, and that means that it could be his name, of course. It could be literal. Or you could be Richard, or your husband could be Richard, or your brother could be Richard, or and so on. So there's a linking name of Richard there. Now, I do get a sense of him having passed with some type of mental health issue, but I don't know if that's what he passed from, but he passed with it. I don't know if he passed from it, but he passed with it. All right. Now, interestingly enough, one of the things that he was really strong on expressing was his gratitude. His gratitude. So if you have a Richard around you, there's an older man, 70, 75, and there is a military reference here with him, right? So he would have been in the military. He himself would have been in the military, okay? So if you can take this, please type in as soon as possible, and then I'll make the connection a little bit stronger, all right? Now, as I talk to him, he's talking to me also about your freedom, because he's saying to me there's been something going on in your life where you now have an opportunity to choose your course of action, where before I felt like maybe not. All right. Wendy, oh, for some reason your things are hidden. Okay, so guys, if you're hiding other people's stuff, back off, please, or it could be spirit. All right. So Wendy and Linda both have a Dick. His name was Richard. He was in the military. And Shiloh, it could be Robert if there's also a Richard around you, right? So I didn't know if it was Richard or if Richard was someone around you that he was talking about, right? That's just a linking name. So for right now, I'm going to go with Wendy and Linda because that feels right, okay? So both of them were in the military. Both of them were older. Okay. And with the name Richard. Okay. Now, would you understand, ladies, Wendy and Linda, would you understand you yourself are going through something right now wait, hang on. So you're going through something right now where there's more freedom and more availability to you to make your own actions and reactions and to kind of formulate your life. Almost like he keeps on saying freedom to me. Do you understand this? Where there's stuff going on that just makes me feel like, whether it's a life change, like a work job, a job change, or even a living change or something like that. But I feel like there's more freedom there to make the choices surrounding those changes. So Linda and Wendy, if you could chime in, I'd appreciate that, please. Now, he's also talking to me about not burying your head in the sand. In other words, try to face something head on instead of hiding away from change, because change is hard. All right, Shyla. My dad is still alive and his name is Richard. Mental illness, also military background. Now, that's interesting because someone who has a mental illness can talk to me as though they're deceased. Okay? Tony Bennett has done that to me. My friend's husband has done that to me. Now, what's interesting is, okay, so Wendy says she doesn't think it's her. So what's interesting is when something like that, if he is terribly afflicted with a mental illness, that's a very good possibility. All right. Oh, so Linda, you have retired a year ago and too much free time. Okay, so yes. So freedom. So Linda, I think I'm with you, girl. All right. So what he's saying to me is that you now have the opportunity to recreate yourself. You have the freedom to recreate where you're going, what you're doing. And it's like that old adage, what do I want to be when I grow up? Do you have to be any one thing? And I'm hearing absolutely not. Absolutely not. You could be a million different things. You can be a princess 1 minute. You can be a cargo hauler the next minute. You can be a gardener the next day. And so there's never anything that you have to be. You have the freedom to accept that. Now, there's other people who are coming in on this conversation a little bit late. So if you go back and listen to what came through, please accept the message for you as well. That's called piggybacking or split linking, as it is in the professional field, where two or more spirit to get together with the same information. And there's also something that's called a clead-on. So if you can accept what's coming through, absolutely take it. Absolutely take it. So anyways, Richard is asking you, Linda, to be willing to accept those changes, because you are no longer who you once were. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So lots of love. Lots of love. All right. The next person. So I've got a man. He's got these great big glasses on, kind of like what you'd see, like even bigger than mine. So what you see like in the 70s, right? I'm getting either a Sean or a John. I'm not sure. So there might be an Irish link there. I'm not sure. I do feel like this is a father or grandfather on dad's side of the family, however. I'm also getting a sense of there's a sister in the picture, he's saying. There's a sister in the picture. So there's got to be you and at least one other sibling, which is a sister. He's also talking to me about down south. I want to go possibly the Carolinas maybe. All right, because I want to be on the water, so I want to go down south. North Carolina, South Carolina, I'm not sure, but I'm hearing, well, of course, Carolina can also be a woman's name. Tricky, isn't it? Yes. I do feel heart-related with him. Heart-related. I am also getting a sense of your commitment to him, like taking care of him. Maybe not the main caretaker, but he's making reference to you taking care of him and being very grateful for that, right? Now, so again, there's a Sean or a John. I'm not sure which one, I have to be honest with you. And I get a sense of also there's someone around him or around you who plays the piano. Can someone take this? Please type in. Type in. I got Sean, John, piano, something about down south. There's a relationship to down south somewhere. Maybe you're down south. So, and again, John or Sean can be a linking name. I'm also seeing with him this man would have been a businessman, I think, because he's talking to me about his casual attire being turtlenecks or like golf shirts, that kind of thing. Like I don't see much, like t-shirts unless it's meaningful to the family. Diane's husband is John. He has a nephew named Sean. My husband's parents used to go down to Alabama. Both husbands' parents are deceased. Oh, maybe Diane. Yep, maybe. Okay. So do you understand someone around you, Diane, that would use a piano? He's doing this, which is too wide for a keyboard. Usually for me, keyboard is right here, but he's doing this. So piano. Oops. Shiloh says, a brother named Sean and a sister who is causing issues. My dad lives in South Carolina, and Sean's mom, my son, took piano. It's interesting. So who's this man? I would think this would be Grandpa. Who is John? Okay, so that would have to be a grandpa to you, Shiloh. All right. Linda says she lives in North Carolina, and Jesse's grandma played piano. Possibly. Oh, so Diane says the entire family plays Irish music. I think I'm with you. I think I'm with Diane. But listen in, guys, gals, whoever. Listen in, because there's so many similarities here. So many, all right? Especially with Shiloh. Oh my gosh. All right. So, so hubby's sister also passed away. Yeah, okay. So there we go. So Dad, I call, is talking to me about your husband and him having the sister, okay? And he was also talking to me about the piano. The piano's pretty significant. It's pretty significant. So I don't know, and you had mentioned the like everybody plays Irish music. That makes sense. Now, would you also understand, is there a woman in spirit, because she's meeting him now, she's coming together with him, who would do, I want to say quilting or some kind of piece work. Pieces and pieces, not P-E-A, it's P-I-E-C-E. Piece, piecework. So I'm seeing that. And I'm almost looking at, she's saying to me, they're together of course, but she is talking to me about you feeling over your head. Over your head. And I understand that. Yep, I understand that. And she's saying to me that you've got to understand that you need to kind of tap in and ask for help, Diane. Ask for help when honestly, when the shit is hitting the fan, there you go. So ask for help, ask for spiritual assistance. And because you know as well as I do, everybody, that Spirit will not step in because you have free will. Spirit are not going to step in or step in your way or stop the crap from happening, right? Daily. Yeah, I get it, Diane. So they will not step in unless you ask. All right. So then ask for help and then start focusing on finding the positives, because then of course what you focus on manifests. Right? What you focus on manifests. So when you ask for assistance and you ask for better things, start looking for those. You know, there might be negative crap that happens. Not going there, not looking at that. Nope, 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 nope. Look for the positives. And the more you look for them, just like an Apport, the more you look for them, the more you're going to see them. Because that's kind of a wish or a subconscious saying to Spirit, this is what I want. Yes, Diane, we are the captains of our ships. We so are. And I know that, you know, sometimes it hits the fan. It does for all of us. But we can get clear in our minds what we want and focus on that. All right? Oh, Diane says, yes, she's been thinking of that much lately. This is fantastic validation. I'm in tears. Oh, thank you to Spirit and to you, Lisa. Thank you so much, Diane. Girlfriend, you're very welcome. Good luck to you. All right. The next person, the last person on my list. This is a recent passing. A recent passing. And I get a sense, and I don't know if this is the cause of death or they had COVID. Right? Could be a cause of death, or they could have had COVID. Of course, a lot of people have had COVID, but whatever. But that was what the person said to me. This is a woman. This is a woman. And I got a sense of definite lung interaction here. So either pneumonia, COVID, COPD, like heavy duty lung, like, yeah, big heavy duty lung stuff. All right. So one of the things that she's showing me, so I'm seeing this woman. I love her. She's pretty sassy. I like her. And she's making me feel like she would have had dark hair when she was younger. Dark brown. And I get a sense of her. She's not real tall. 5'4" at the most, I'm thinking. Medium build. Medium build. And I do feel like this was a smart cookie. When she was young, she was on top of her game. I almost get a sense of her being a boss or a manager or business owner or whatever, because I feel like she's a leader in some capacity. I don't want to say she's just a leader of the family. No, because many women are that. This is a literal leader in some way. Again, she could be a boss, she could be a manager, could be the head of a department or whatever. So this lady was the sharp cookie. Now, she's also saying to me either Pamela, Tamala, something like that. I'm not sure. I know I'm not hearing it right, so keep that in mind. She's also dark brown red. Janice, if that makes sense to you, own that. But does the rest of it make sense to you? Like, was she a leader or like a manager or something like that? I also got a sense of there being... Oh, Cheryl says, my mom passed of COVID pneumonia. 9 months ago, she had bad lungs already. Short was a boss, had dark hair in younger years, but I can't relate to Pamela. Okay, so definitely, Cheryl, I'm probably coming to you. However, Janice, if you can take the rest of that, please chime in or just listen in, because it may be a cleat on and, you know, piggybacking and all that kind of stuff, okay? So anyways, this woman is talking to me about you. This sounds kind of like she's kind of getting on your case. She's talking to me about using your understanding and using your compassion, your empathic muscles to kind of get into somebody's thought processes. Now, this is kind of weird. Weird stuff like this happens all the time to me. So, would either of you ladies understand fried chicken being important? I hope I don't get any calories for that one or any fat grams for that one, because I could actually taste it. It tastes like Kentucky Fried Chicken. So is that a thing in your family, right? Was fried chicken big? And Janice says yes. Yep. So one of the things that I'm picking up, Amy, I don't know if that's enough, but it's possible. So listen in, right? So the messages may make sense to you, okay? But for right now, Cheryl, she's saying to me, for some reason, she's giving me the fried chicken reference. Oh, so always fried chicken for dinner on Sunday, said Janice. All right. So one of the things she's saying to me is use that empathic muscles, the muscles that you have. And be very discerning about how you judge. And it's, you know, that's human nature, right? We judge not because we're being judgmental, but we judge whether it's right for us or not. Or we just think it's weird or whatever. But just because we think something's weird doesn't mean it's wrong. One of the things she's saying to me is to be open, to be understanding. When something comes face to face with you, she's saying, be open and understanding and be respectful and be responsible in who you talk to about the situations that you're experiencing. So one of the things also is she wants to make sure, because of that empathic muscle, she wants to make sure that you're being authentic to yourself. So when someone says, well, I think you're like full of hooey, you know, these are your experiences. You have to honor them. You have to honor them, because the more you honor them, the more they will come. And the more you honor them, the more they will come, the more accurate they will become. It's like inviting someone for dinner repeatedly and they never show up. So eventually you stop inviting, right? If you ask for help from Spirit and they keep on coming and giving you information, but you don't pay heed to them, well, what the hell? She's not listening anyways. Why bother? So pay heed to that. So for instance, you know, and I understand, I totally get it, that sometimes some of the stuff that comes through is just whack-a-doodle. I think, oh, there's no way in hell I'm ever going to say that. No way! Those are the things you say. Those are the things that you say. Because you know without a question of a doubt that that didn't come from your own head. So where did it come from? the voice of the universe, the voice of your spirit guides, the voice of your ancestors. There you go, my kids. Take care. Love ya. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay holy. God bless.